I really don't want to be making this video right now. And I tried my hardest to avoid making this video, but then this happened.
Real question, because I didn't been here before. How much longer are you willing to be in a relationship with somebody's husband? Because at the end of the day, that's what people are looking at.
Well, pause.
Okay.
Pause, because that's not somebody's husband.
Okay.
Papoose filed for divorce. Y'all hate to say that word, but it's the word that's out there. He filed for divorce because he's serious about me.
And then this happened.
Yo, big fat ass sat up there and talked that shit to me. And then when I checked you, respectfully, in your face. In your face. You shut all that disrespectful shit up. Now, after the fact, you got all this lip and talking all this shit because you never got this much attention before in your life. Being a radio host, I didn't even know who you was. I came there for Jock and Shorty. I did not come there for you. But the fact that you asked a question in such a distasteful way, and I answered you like the professional that I am, now you want to go on these rants and talking about some pat with me for this reason, pat with me for that reason, blah, 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 blah. You didn't say none of that stuff when you were sitting there in my presence. Why you didn't say it? Why you didn't say it?
And then this happened.
They've been to court and everything. Oh. Divorce doesn't happen overnight. They talking about, I don't know how long they was married, 16 something plus years. That's a lot of stuff to divide and figure out, and it's a kid involved.
And so, needless to say, I've really been trying to give grace to Claressa Shields because she's another dark-skinned Black woman. She is very accomplished in her field. I don't know if you know about her and what her bio is, but it's quite impressive. And I was sort of hoping that, like, she and Papoose and Remy and this whole weird love triangle that they have would fade into the ether so that she could quietly break up with Papoose and move on with her life. But I didn't get my wish. And so specifically, I want to address some of the things that Claressa said in her interview with Cam Newton, and then I will finish up with my commentary.
So what was your non-negotiable with Pat going into this relationship?
I know the little living situation. We on the phone all day, and we go to sleep tonight we go to sleep on the phone every night. That's my non-negotiable. Did that for 6 months. 6 months straight. And then that's when the infamous phone call and all that stuff happened.
Okay, so Cam Newton questions Claressa and asks, you know, what were your non-negotiables when you started your relationship with Papoose? And Claressa goes on to explain that they would stay on the phone all day and that she had a non-negotiable that they would stay on the phone with each other until they fell asleep every night, and that they did this for 6 months. Claressa, why are you telling us any of this? That's what I want to know. Why are you even spilling these details? This is your relationship with Pap that you are serious about, that you claim that he's equally serious about. Why are you regaling us with these unnecessary details that people don't need to know? Details that can be weaponized against you later.
He's never given me no reason to not trust him or to not believe him. And I told him, I'm like, any woman, a guy tell you he's, you know, still going through like a marriage or whatever, and he's trying to figure out how to divorce, whatever. Any woman is like, yeah, right. Any woman. So I'm like.
So then Claressa explains that any woman who meets a man who says that he's going through a divorce, he's separating from his wife, most women would say, yeah, right. Yeah, right. And that's all the more reason why a lot of us are looking at Claressa like, why is she so willing to put up with whatever this situation is that's happening with her and Papoose? Papoose, who is still married to Remy Ma legally. I mean, and I'm not even really here to say that, like, she can't do anything like that. I'm just saying, why are you telling the public all about it?
Yeah, right. So he had to prove to me that that was the case.
What's the holdup?
Divorce they've been to court and everything. Oh. Divorce doesn't happen overnight. They talking about.
Okay, so Cam asks, what's the holdup? Seemingly about the divorce between Remy Ma and Papoose. And Claressa jumps in with the excuse that they've already gone to court and that divorce takes time.
I don't know how long they was married, 16 something plus years. That's a lot of stuff to divide and figure out, and it's a kid involved. So it's not something that's like...
Have you had a relationship with the child?
No.
Okay, so that's completely separate.
But this is a kid, though.
Cam asks if Claressa has had a relationship with the child that Pap and Remy Ma share. She's saying no. That's a kid, though.
Yeah.
It's the kid. I don't think people should involve kids in grown folks' business.
Okay.
That's how I was raised. But whenever that time comes...
Okay, she's saying I don't think that people should involve kids in grown folks' business. And I'm cringing and chuckling because I know what she's going to say a little bit later.
And they both decide, hey, it's time for her to do whatever. That's what happened. But I'm not... I got my own kids.
Do you guys stay together?
I would say it's like half and half. He got his place from New York. I have my place in Atlanta. But we're together all the time.
Okay, so Cam asks Claressa, do you guys stay together? Implying, are you living together? And she says that it's like half and half, that she has her place in Atlanta, he has his place in New York. Again, why do we need to know these details? Why are you giving the public these details to weaponize against you, Claressa? And I don't even say that because I'm rooting for you to fail, or I don't want Papoose and Claressa Shields to have a happy life together. If that is what is destined for these two, then that's great. But I think that for a lot of women, myself included, who have been there, who have overshared and then had that stuff shot back in our face, I just don't see this as going well for her. And I don't like that for her because I don't like seeing Black women taking L's publicly.
Like he's on his way here now.
Okay. And juggling the relationship, having not just the being public figures, having children.
We having a baby next year.
Okay, so she states, when talking with Cam about, he mentions children in a hypothetical way, and then Claressa jumps in with, we're having a baby next year. God, it's like nails on a chalkboard listening to this. Where's her mother? I don't know the story on Claressa's family, but where's her mom? I really hope that she and her mom have a good relationship, or she has a sister or somebody that is a woman who can maybe take her aside and say, hey, I think maybe we don't want to talk about these things publicly anymore. I am a parent. I support anybody out there who feels like they don't want to be a parent. I get it. This is something you kind of have to be dedicated to and invested in. Otherwise, you're not going to be very good at it. But I do respect that there are women out here who fully are like, no, my uterus is not for housing a baby. Absolutely not. I respect that. But for the women who are out here who want to have children, they want to welcome babies, my very first piece of advice to you as somebody who has 2 children of her own is don't tell that to anybody other than the person that you are making those babies with. Because you just don't know what can happen when it's your time to roll the fertility dice. I have known plenty of people in my 42 years of age who they tried for a baby for years and years and years and didn't have one, and then suddenly became pregnant after 7 or 8 years of trying, and then the second baby came just like that. Or I've known people who they got pregnant the first time and it was great, and then it took a really long time for that second baby to come. I've known some people who are still trying for their baby, their miracle baby. And we are in our 40s now. I say all that to say that you are dealing your own psyche a whole bunch of unfair abuse and degradation that you are not going to want to contend with on a regular basis while you're also, trying to plan for your family with your partner or however it is that you're coming about making this decision. You don't want to stress yourself out when people are coming up to you like, hey, so how's the baby journey going? Because at that point, they're going to ask, you've made it public, and well, maybe not public information, but you've shared it with them. So they're going to ask about it. And if it's not going well for you in those moments, you're going to really hate them asking you about it. And so again, I really hope that, God, if she wants a baby, fine. I hope that she has her baby. If you can't feed the baby, then why have the baby? I hope she can get what she wants in this life. I just would really hate if that journey takes a few years for her to suddenly appear on Cam Newton's podcast maybe a year from now, 18 months from now, and he's asking about like, hey, last time you were here, you said you were going to have a baby next year, so how's that going? I just don't want her to get hurt like that. I've been there.
Huh?
Yeah, we having a baby next year.
How y'all gonna have it? You gonna have a child?
Who the fuck else gonna have a kid?
Man, listen here now. Don't listen.
What you mean?
I'm asking you, did you got it?
I'm not gonna have no surrogate.
Okay.
I can get pregnant like anybody else.
I never thought that.
Claressa, I hope you don't have to have a surrogate, sweetheart. I truly hope that that's not something you have to do.
Yeah, I'm putting my career on hold.
That's cool. And number two, I know you have a minimum fight, like you have certain fights that you have to obtain, right? And number three, we're living in a day and age where surrogates are real, adoption is real.
No, I'm not adopting no kids. And I don't want nobody carrying no kid for me either. That was my young mindset. 18, I'm like, I'm not messing up this perfect body. Somebody else carried a little kid. Now at 31, and me just loving family, like I'm very close to my sister, 3 kids.
Yeah.
They're like my kids.
Okay.
So even though I haven't had kids, it's like they're my kids.
Okay, I think that that's great that she has one sister at least, and she said she's close with her nieces and nephews, that the kids that her sister has. I think that that is so wonderful. I'm glad that they have a positive relationship. I'm glad that she has a vision for what she wants. I hope that she can get it, because it can be very humbling, very rude awakening, like when you find out that the plans that you had for your family and how you were going to go about that can't be completed the way you thought they would. And so I think you get the gist of how that interview went, what this whole thing was like, how Claressa is sort of speaking about her relationship with Pap, the plans that they have, all of the intricacies and details of their relationship. You know, she's sharing these things readily and publicly, and she seems pretty proud about it. And now, I'm not here to say that she can't be proud, because Claressa, quiet as it's kept, she is a decorated. So they describe her on Wikipedia as an American professional boxer and former professional mixed martial artist. I didn't know she did MMA. That's cool. She has held 18 major world championships spanning 5 weight classes, including the undisputed female light middleweight title in March 2021, 5 years ago as of this recording, the undisputed female middleweight title twice between 2019 and 2024, the World Boxing Council and International Boxing Federation female super middleweight titles from 2017 to 2018, the World Boxing Organization female light heavyweight title from 2024 to 2025. I love the way she's just scooping up all these titles. This is great. And the undisputed female heavyweight title since February 2025. So those are all the titles that she has held or is still holding on to. When it comes to the Olympic Games, she earned a gold medal for middleweight class in 2012 in London. She also got gold in 2016 in Rio de Janeiro, same class, middleweight. Actually, all of these medals that she has are gold. That's all that she's ever qualified for. Which I love it. I think that that's great. I mean, she is a decorated, celebrated person in her field, which I think makes it all the more confusing for those of us who are watching. Why is Claressa so caught up in Papoose? Like, she can date who she wants to date. People are attracted to whoever they are attracted to. But Claressa is sort of sitting like in first class when it comes to what she does. I think there's even been a movie made about her life. That's how significant she is. Why are you running behind Papoose, who, yeah, he's a rapper, but he doesn't have the same stature in his career that Claressa does. And I think that for many of us, the women especially, we look at that and our eyebrows raise, because it's like, why? Why do you have to mess with Papoose? I'm sure that there are some other gold medal award-winning boxers out there who are familiar with your career field, familiar with what it takes to get to where you are, who you could date, who aren't married to anybody else, who don't have kids with anybody else. But to sum all of this up, because I'm really not here just to kick Claressa's back in, I actually want really good things for her, like I said. Team Black women all the way. So I just want to see her out here representing herself well, and I don't want her to open up the possibility of being publicly embarrassed. But with that being said, I have 3 points that I want to end on for this video right now. Number 1 is I don't think that any woman, Claressa or anybody watching this right now, I don't think any woman should publicly go out on a limb for any man. It's simply too risky. He can embarrass you. He can say that you're lying and he doesn't know who you are. He can do all sorts of things, and men do. And I just think that you can avoid all of that if you aren't out here sticking your neck out publicly for a man. Let him defend himself. Let him explain himself. Number 2, if you decide that you want children, I told you this already, but make sure that that's something that you only share with your partner, maybe 1 or 2 close family members, if that. But that is something that you keep close to the chest because you just don't know what can happen. Also, if you decide to change your mind, you give yourself the freedom to do that when you don't share these things publicly. So maybe you decide that the partner that you're with, who you thought you were going to have kids with, isn't really somebody who you want to welcome children with, which is such a great and astute observation to make before you get pregnant. You should have the freedom to change your mind about that and not have to worry about any sort of angry mob coming at you because you told them something different. Changing your mind is your right as a woman. And number 3, I've talked mainly about Claressa and the sort of back and forth that she had with Miss Shanika from the radio station, but she's also had beefs with like other boxers, other women boxers who are in the field, maybe not the same weight class as her, but other women who also box, like Alicia Baumgartner. That's one who she has gotten into verbal and maybe even like a slight physical altercation with. And what I want to say is that even though I am very much about unity between women, I think that women should stick together. We are a team, absolutely. That does not mean that I am a huge fan of every single woman who I meet and come across. No, there are some bitches out here that I can't stand. But we keep it cute in public, simply because being messy in the media especially, that's only going to get you clipped up and snipped, and then blogs are going to start creating all sorts of narratives around this rivalry, and then suddenly you've got a whole monster that is growing in the PR cycle that you weren't really anticipating. That's something else that I don't like to see women fall into, especially Black women. Don't get baited into this back and forth about other women. No, our demographic gets talked about and shitted on and spit on by so many other people, other demographics, just because they feel like they can. They feel like we are at the bottom of the totem pole, so what's it gonna matter anyway if I make a think piece bashing this Black girl or Black woman? And so I just feel like not feeding into that is some of the best behavior that we can adopt because it starves the beast. You also never know. While you and Alicia aren't getting along today, or you and whomever, you just never know how your paths may converge later. And it would really be awful if you are in need of some sort of a handout or a favor or additional grace or, someone to look the other way on your behalf. It would really be awful if Alicia or somebody who you have beefed with is suddenly now the determiner of that, to say like, let's go ahead and put this salacious story out there, or let's let her fail, or let's not give her that aid, or, whatever it is to harm you because she remembers how you harmed her before. I just think that on a professional level, it's nice to not go around bad-mouthing your colleagues and other people who are on, don't even punch down. Like, don't punch down, don't punch across. We only punch up, but even in those instances, make sure that it's the right issue to be punching up on publicly. And the one last piece that I'm going to add in here that I didn't write down, but I just thought of it, is in one of the clips with Miss Shanika from the radio, she even says to Claressa, I've been there. And ladies, you don't want to bite the hand that's trying to clear your hair out of your face and grab your hand and lead you out of the dark, smoky room. You don't want to bite that hand. I know that it can feel annoying, imposing when older women especially want to take you by the hand and sit you down and give you some advice and just set you straight. And some of this advice is malicious. Most of the most awful advice that I ever got came from church women. The church women who were like, oh, honey, I know what you need to do. Oh, honey, come sit down here. Let me tell you what you need to do. Oh, some of the worst advice ever. But for women who are out here saying, hey, I've been divorced before, I've been in a relationship with someone who was dragging his feet before, maybe don't completely bat them away or, discount what they're saying. Don't be dismissive entirely, because that's one of the ways that we show up for each other as women, is the older women turning around to tell the younger ones, hey, you want to watch out for this. I've been there before and I didn't like the way this felt. Is that how you feel? Don't push that away. That is good-natured, sisterly advice. And I think that if Claressa had more of that in her life, I don't think that we would be hearing from her as publicly, especially with all of these details with regard to Papoose and her relationship, and even Remy Ma. I wouldn't even speak on them publicly if I was Claressa. If I was Claressa and I was asked about Papoose and the divorce and Remy and all these different things, I would just say that, Pap and Remy had their own relationship, and all of the dealings of their relationship are for them to speak on. I leave those things alone. Me and Papoose have our relationship, and that's all that I'm caring about right now. Something along those lines. I really wish that she would tighten it up a little bit, because I think that some of these sound bites and quotes could come back to bite her later. Oh, especially the baby quotes. God, I really hope that she does not struggle with getting pregnant if that's what she truly wants. Oh man, but good luck, Claressa. You'll probably see this and be pretty mad at me too. That's fine. But I think that moving in silence would be in your favor right now. If Papoose has something to say, then let Papoose say it. Otherwise, keep your lips sealed and just sit there and look pretty. Those are my thoughts. Thanks for making it to the end of the video. If you liked what you saw and you want to see more from me, consider hitting that subscribe button so you can see all my playlists and get notified every time I upload to this channel. If you want to keep up with behind the scenes lifestyle stuff, you can follow me on Threads. Take care.